Hi, everybody. This is Maxine Taylor. Welcome to my home. Today, I want to talk to you about the north and south nodes of the moon. I love them. I just adore them. So many of you are astrology students or astrologers, and I hope you share my interest and even excitement about the nodes of the moon because they're wonderful. Now, I'm going to tell you how I interpret them. Hope this is helpful for you, of course. And those of you who may not know enough about astrology to know what the nodes of the moon are, you just watch this video. And this will help you find your north node and south node in your birth chart. Okay, and by the way, if you do not have an actual copy of your birth chart, that's the printout. It's not the interpretation, it's the printout. All you have to do is go to my website, MaxineTaylor.com, and send me your birth information. That is the month, day, year, city, state, country, and exact time that you were born. And I would be happy to send you free of charge a copy of your very own birth chart. And yes, both the north and south nodes are indicated in your birth chart. So let's talk about them. First of all, one way of describing the north node is the dragon's head. The south node, the dragon's tail. In the birth chart, they are opposite each other, and they each mean something different. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here. Now, my handwriting, we already established, is atrocious. So just bear with me, all right? In the green, I have the north node. In blue, the south node. Now, the north node is the dragon's head. The south node is the dragon's tail. That is, we're dealing with one dragon. And you cannot have one without the other, nor would you want to. Now, let me explain to you why I'm saying that. The south node, by the way, the south node often gets a really bad rap in books. For years, I've read about how horrible the south node is. Well, that's just not true. Or how marvelous the north node is. Well, that is true. Actually, they're both marvelous. I'll tell you why. The south node is that quality, that trait, that which you have mastered in past lives. And as a result, you are instinctively drawn to it. Remember, these are the nodes of the moon. The moon rules our emotions, our subconscious, hence are tied to the past, our nurturing instincts. And the way I read a chart, the moon represents mommy's message to us on where to look for our emotional security. And if I have read your birth chart, you know that I talk about mommy, daddy, Saturn, Pluto, because these are the main components of our programming. Well, the north and south nodes of the moon tie in to our programming. They bring in our past incarnations. So the south node is what we have mastered in past lives. It's what comes easily to us. And this is terrific. You might say, well, gosh, I want to keep doing that. Do you really? You might want to. You might want to fall back and rest on your laurels, so to speak. However, it is the north node which we are striving toward. And I had read many years ago, I mean decades ago when I first started studying astrology, that the north node indicated the area of your life by house placement where you would achieve your greatest success and fulfillment. And that stayed with me because that was quite a statement, right? Well, I'm going to describe to you all of the possible permutations of the North Node and the South Node in your birth chart, or in the charts of your clients, those of you who are practicing, or in the charts of your families, those who are learning. So let's just start right up there. I've got the North Node in green and the South Node in blue because I said my handwriting is atrocious. I always say it's just a carryover from a Chinese incarnation, as a joke. Maybe not so much. Anyhow, let's talk about the North Node. If you have the North Node in the 10th house, this is the dragon's head. What you are going to do is find that you are drawn to the limelight, drawn into a position of leadership. Your career is important to you. And yes, you will have some form of career that brings you to the attention of the public. That's the 10th house. Okay? Now, the South Node, that which you have already mastered, is directly across the chart in the 4th house. And so you are naturally attuned to home and family and all things that deal with emotional security, which is very quite amplified because the South Node of the moon rules Cancer, is in the 4th house, which in the natural zodiac is ruled by Cancer. Interesting. So home and family are very important to you. Owning a home, having a home, being with your family. However, remember what I said about the South Node getting a bad rap. In many astrology books from eons of time ago, it is said that the South Node is the area of where you are drained of energy. And this is true if you spend way too much time here sitting at home with a remote in your hand in front of the tube. This is the area that you have mastered before. You're supposed to get out there and be in the limelight, be a leader, change the world, in other words. Maybe not so much the world, but the world in which you live. And so what you want to do is balance these two, the North Node and the South Node. When you balance them, they are in harmony and they flow beautifully. So how might you do that? Well, you're going to have a career. You want to have a career. You're a natural leader. That's a given. And this will not drain you. This is what you're shooting for. And therefore, one of the major things you came to learn in this incarnation. Doesn't that just give you goosebumps? So how do you work this out? Well, nowadays, so many people are working from home. Okay? And so if you work from home, you'll be able to conduct your career from the emotional security of home, family, what have you. With this South Node in the 4th house, wherever you are, you will make it into a home. Okay, let's keep on going, shall we? With the North Node in the 11th house, this house, oh, I forgot to mention, of course, the North Node is in the 10th house ruled by Capricorn in the natural zodiac, and so this is another reason why leadership comes to you, excuse me. Now, moving into the 11th house, with Aquarius, the placement, not the placement, but Aquarius, which rules the 11th house, with the North Node in the 11th house, it takes on an Aquarian tone, making you a humanitarian. You know that what is good for the group is good for the individuals within the group. And so you see that what works for the whole works for the individual. The 11th house deals with friends and hopes and wishes and group activities. So you might be the type of person who loves groups, and yet, because of the 11th house influence, the Aquarius influence, you march to your own drummer. You are a friend to all, and that is the sign of the humanitarian. Well, your friends mean the world to you. Directly across, we got the South Node, and there are your children screaming at you for attention, right? The South Node says, children, fun, all kind of fun and games, artistic endeavors, all of that deals with the South Node in the 5th house. And so you may be torn as a parent between your own children who you adore and are absolutely attracted to. And they can drain you of your energy if you don't get out there and be out in the world being a friend to all. I hope this is clicking with you, because once it clicks, you'll get it. This one video will open you up to whole new ways of looking at it. And that's my wish. Let's look at the North Node in the 12th house. This is very interesting. This brings in a Pisces flavor, right? And so you want solitude and privacy. There can be a mystical quality about you. There can be simply the need to be behind the scenes. You're not looking for the limelight unless in your birth chart you have something in the 10th house or the 7th house. But the 12th house person, on its highest and best level, is searching for communion with God. And I'm not talking about any particular concept of God. I'm talking about, from my personal experience and observation, the true essence of God. Really beautiful. Now, the South Node in the 6th house brings in a Virgo quality, doesn't it? And that's the person who crosses the T's and dots the I's and worries and worries and worries. Quite different from the 12th house North Node that says, I am in tune with the ethers, the spirit plane. I know that there is a source of energy that guides us all. South Node in the 6th house worries about the details of life, can get so wrapped up in them that it can be debilitating. The 6th house is health. And I know at this point, some of you are saying, well, I wish it was in the 5th house of fun. This is the house of Leo, and Leo always has fun. But the South Node here is in the 6th house, which is ruled in the natural zodiac by Virgo. And the digestive area of the body is very sensitive, because when we worry about things, we are stressed and our whole body tightens up. And so what you, if you have your South Node in the 6th house, want to do is pull back, retreat, realize that you're not going to save the world, that job that needs to get done, maybe you have set your own deadline up and you're pushing yourself too hard. Balance these two nodes. And what you will find is that you have time for yourself and time to serve. And the only time you'll be able to tell if you're spending too much time in that 6th house is if you start worrying and if you're drained. It will drain your energy if you don't balance it. And this is because the universe is balanced. It is looking for balance. All right, let's keep on going. North Node in the 1st house, this gives you an Aries quality to your life. And you're saying, I want to do it my way. And the truth is you should, because this is the incarnation in which you will find your greatest success and fulfillment in being your own person, taking a stand for yourself, and perhaps even putting yourself first. The problem can come in with this lovely South Node in your 7th house that is instinctively drawn to partnership. This is the house of Libra in the natural zodiac. And so you give to other people, you put them first, and it can be draining if you do not balance it with this fabulous North Node that says, it's my turn. I want to do what I want, when I want, how I want, because I want. And that, with the North Node in the 1st house, is a very healthy thing to do. Other people South Node in the 7th will always pull at you. You will always want that one-on-one relationship. Nothing wrong with that. Love the one-on-one relationship. When it starts draining you, when you're not able to do what you want, when you want, how you want, and still help other people, that is your sign that it's out of balance. Simple, right? Okay, let's keep on going. North Node in the 2nd house. This is the lifetime in which you are supposed to create money. This is the house that Taurus rules in the natural zodiac. And man, oh man, can you make money? This is your area of success and fulfillment. We could stop right here because everybody wants this. But we have created our birth charts prior to incarnating to give us what we truly want. And so if you have the North Node in the 2nd house, this is great because you can create things, tangible things. And this is a time in which you are getting clear, this time meaning this incarnation, on your own values, okay? Directly across the chart in the 8th house, ruled by Scorpio in the natural zodiac. Oh boy. The South Node. This, on a mundane level, is the area in which you want to help other people with their money, making money for groups, perhaps, making money for a spouse, working in tandem with other people and their finances. But see, you've already done that in past lives. And so if you spend too much time helping other people, you'll be drained and you'll feel it. You need to focus on creating your own wealth, abundance, income. On a much deeper level, that 8th house is the house of transformation, transmutation. It's the psychic realm. It's the realm of secrets. And so you can become very involved with other people's secrets, with the psychic realm, because the 8th house wants to know the secrets of life, which is where life comes from and where it goes when we leave here. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to balance these two. When you find yourself needing more solitude and privacy, plan something that's going to create more income for you. It can be as literal as that. And these nodes will be balanced. North Node in the 3rd house, the house of Gemini. Well, you are an idea person. You have excellent ideas. And this is the lifetime in which to talk about them, to write them, to video them, to communicate them. Your mind is alert, and you deal with facts and information. Directly across the chart in the house ruled by Sagittarius in the natural zodiac is the South Node. And this is what you have mastered in past lives. Concepts, principles, ideas on a grand scale, higher education. You might say, well, what's wrong with pursuing that? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. The South Node is not the bad guy. The South Node is simply saying you have a storehouse of knowledge that you can dip into anytime you choose to. Now, the 9th house is long distance travel. 3rd house is short distance travel. 9th house is higher education. 3rd house is elementary school education, public school, middle school, high school. 9th house deals with principles, concepts. This is the lifetime in which you are to break those down, boil them down, simplify them so that you can share them with other people. Okay? That's where writing your great novel comes in. Now, what if it is reversed? And you have the South Node in the 10th house, ruled by Capricorn, and the North Node in the 4th house, ruled by Cancer. That's in the natural zodiac. You may not have it that way in your birth chart, but everything takes on the coloring of the natural zodiac. So, South Node in the 10th house, you have been the leader, okay? You've been king. I'm teasing with you. You have been in charge. You've had the career, and you love it because it gets you out of the house. However, in this incarnation, you gave yourself the North Node in the 4th house. This is the house of nurturing, of home and family. And this is where you will create the world, your world, that you want. You will be instinctively drawn not just to leadership, but to leaders. Okay? And because it is instinctive with you, you will do it without thinking. That's okay. When you feel drained, when you feel burdened, when you feel overwhelmed by all that your career involves, it's time to get with home sweet home and family and balance those two. South Node in the 11th house, you have been a friend. This is the house of Aquarius in the natural zodiac. You have been a friend. You have been a humanitarian. You are drawn to friends. You are drawn to groups. However, this is the lifetime in which the North Node is in Leo, in the 5th house, which is ruled by Leo in the natural zodiac. Can you tell I'm getting ahead of myself here? And this is the house of fun. It's the house of children. It's the house of everything that you create. And so what this life is about is enjoying what you do. You can get all carried away with causes and philanthropic organizations with the South Node in the 11th house, which is beautiful. It's beautiful. When it starts draining you, come on home to your kids. Do you paint? Do you draw? Do you play a musical instrument? This is the area of creativity. It's about having fun, fun, fun on a personal level. In other words, you want to balance your friendship circle with your love life, your social life. Maybe you adore sports with a North Node in the 5th house. I hope you have season tickets to your favorite league, favorite team. Okay, South Node in the 12th house of Pisces. You want to escape. You probably, and I have no way of proving this, but you probably spent a good bit of time in seclusion in a past life, whether the 12th house deals with institutions, monasteries, nunneries, hospitals, jails. I don't mean that you were incarcerated, but it's possible. You know, we experience everything in our cosmic journeys here on Earth. South Node in the 12th, you would be very willing to work behind the scenes for an organization, perhaps. But this is the area of escape. And it's much too easy to escape. What are escapes? Eating, drinking, smoking, make-believe, drugs, going to movies, anything that keeps you away from that beautiful North Node in the 6th house that says, let's get down to business, cross those T's, dot those I's, let's get this thing going. And with the North Node in the 6th house, which is ruled by Virgo, you want to be of practical service. What do? You're going to balance both of these. All right? You will want time alone. Well, we sleep every night, most of us. And this deals with sleep, with a spirit plane. This is the practical application of the spirit world. Balance both of these. If you have the South Node in your 1st house, you did what you wanted. You have mastered you doing what you want, when you want, how you want, because you want. That's the South Node. If you overdo me, because this is the physical body, you will notice it because it could drain you of your energy and cause you to take on an illness. So what you want to do is help other people. Look at that beautiful North Node in the 7th house, ruled by Libra. Helping other people, doing in the one-on-one relationship. If you have the North Node in the 7th house, you have to have a one-on-one relationship. Whether it's a cat, a dog, a person, a buddy, a lover, it doesn't matter. Now you can use this too. The 7th house is litigation. If you wanted to, you could, and consulting, you would be a great consultant, an attorney. See what I'm saying? So, yes, you're going to do for you. And then by doing for others, you have this beautiful full circle. Okay, South Node in the 2nd house. You know how to make money, and it's now time for you to help other people do the same thing. You understand that money is what rules the world. And if you get caught up in it too much, it will drain you. This can actually drain the finances that you have built up. So what you're going to want to do, remember, this is the house of Taurus and money. You're going to want to use this beautiful North Node in the 8th house, ruled by Scorpio, which helps other people create money. It also helps you get away from the mundane and deal with the psychic, with transformation, with transmutation. These two are absolutely beautiful working together. And last but not least, South Node in the 3rd house can keep you talking. You've learned to communicate in past lives. You're a great communicator. But because you are instinctively drawn to it, you may tend to overdo that. What you want to do is follow the 9th house, North Node, which can deal with higher education so that you get a much bigger picture of what's going on in the universe. The 9th house deals with principles, concepts, truth. It's just beautiful. South Node wants to take quick trips, okay, in the 3rd house. Get in the car and go. That is good. It keeps you from being bored, because that South Node can make you bored. I won't say can make you, that it doesn't make you. It reflects boredom. That North Node says, I want to spread my wings and soar here in the 9th house. I want to make sure that all my options are open. And so, I hope that you see the North and South Node a little more fully than you did before. Before I go, I am so excited to tell you about a new reading that I'm offering. It's called Your Karmic Destiny. As you know, I've done a video on the vertex and the anti-vertex, on the North Node and the South Node. What I've done in this Karmic Destiny reading, Your Karmic Destiny, is combine them. See where they fall, both of them, in your birth chart. Because together, the North and South Nodes, the vertex and anti-vertex, talk about what you have mastered in past lives, that's the nodes, where your greatest success will come in this lifetime, again, the North Node. The vertex, your karmic role in life over which you have no control. Well, you do, because you gave it to yourself. And the anti-vertex, that point right across from the vertex over which you have control. So, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope that you will join me again. I'm going to keep adding new videos as time goes by. So until we meet again, may the stars shine brightly on you and yours. Bye for now.